Stewart, Wilson, Palapa,
Here.
Hanson,
Here.
Jarzabkowski,
Here.
Neal,
Present.
Sparks.
Okay, we can have any public comments not related to the agenda. For all public comments today, please use the podium so that the stream will pick up your voice. Do we have any public comments not related to the agenda? I don't think we have any communications, so we can move on to general business, the pool. Josh?
We have to approve
I'll
the
just say,
minutes.
do I have
Sorry.
minutes?
Yeah, minutes. Did everybody read the minutes?
Yes.
Does anybody have any changes or comments that they want made to the minutes?
Okay, I motion that we approve the minutes as written.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Thank you. General business.
It's pools. So Heather gave you guys the rundown on the season. Since I couldn't be at the last meeting, we had a very successful season. Very much looking forward to next year as well. We've got some things that need some repair, but again, we've worked through that for a couple of years now. But I know that we're going to be looking to pull the pool committee together and start working on a plan for the pool and what that looks like, whether that's a project here in the next couple of years or what they may be. But, overall, it was great. And I did catch Foster's questions. I don't have exact ages and numbers, but I can tell you, for 4-year-olds, we had 41 total for the season for swim lessons. For 5-year-olds, we had 26. For 6-year-olds, we had 43. That's in specific age classes that we offered 4 class sessions, 2 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Level 1 through 8 it's a hodgepodge. You could be 6 years old, and in level 1, you could be 10 years old in level 1. That's all based on competency and comfort in the water. But again, we had anywhere from, in level 1, on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we served anywhere from 20 to 30 kids for each of those levels. And then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday was more 20 to 25 for each of those as well. As you get to level 6, 7, and 8, so you're looking at your 13 to 15-ish ages, some 12-year-olds. Those numbers dwindle. We see a lot fewer kids in at that time, but I think we did see a number of them actually at the swim camp this year that we did. Big success. I already talked to Beth Hay about doing it next year and possibly doing it for 2 weeks instead of just 1. So, and also we had over 30 registered for baby swim and a decent attendance each of those days too. Something that I'm going to be working on, unfortunately, it comes late. Before the season started, we lost a baby this in the beginning of the summer to a pool at home. Someone that I went to school with, her little one didn't have her puddle jumper on, wanted to go swimming. Mom said, hang on a second. Eyes were not on her, and unfortunately, she went to the pool and they found her drowned. This was a week before swim lessons started. So something that I'm working on is trying to get an ISR program here at our pool. It's a lot of work from what I've understood. There's not a training here in Michigan. The closest one is in Ohio. It's a 6-week course. The closest thing we could do would be to hire someone to come up here and do that 6-week course. We would have to partner with Ferris and a few others to make it affordable as well. But it's a project that I'm going to be working on so that we can hopefully offer that here so that we can try and avoid that type of an incident again in this area. Because while the river is a threat, home pools and kids' comfort with puddle jumpers, and while they can be a great tool for swimming with multiple kids, it gives the kids a false sense of security, and that's where you create your problem. Something that I would work
You said ISR?
on. ISR, Infant Survival Resource.
Okay. And you said that there were approximately 20 to 30 per division, 1 through 6. Is that right?
Oh, for the levels.
Yeah, for the level.
Yeah, so
So
anywhere
like-
between 10 and 15 per class period.
Uh-huh.
And with 2 class periods on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, that's where you get your anywhere from 20 to 30 kids being in those classes.
Yeah, so it was something like,
40 to 60.
yeah, but like total, like a couple hundred.
Yeah, we had, I think it was roughly 340 kids, 350 kids go through swim lessons this year.
That's pretty great. I mean, it's like I think about like the total number of kids in like Big Rapids public schools, right? And I'm thinking it's probably double that,
Probably.
more maybe, but I mean, that's still a pretty substantial portion and.
It is. To be fair, I mean, it's still a thing in this community, the number of people that don't realize that we have a pool and the pool exists between the families, the kids, so it doesn't shock me that we are not really hitting as many of the kids because that's just a thing. And it's
Yeah.
something with this pool has always combated.
Yeah, and I mean, it's only been 2 years since the lessons have been free, so I mean, that could have been something that people still aren't aware of as well.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's still pretty good numbers. And we can assume also, I think, that, you know, some kids, they made it to level 4, and their mom or dad said, that's good enough, you don't have to go
Yeah.
this year. And so
It is definitely a thing. It is.
we could have already reached some, but thank you for those demographics.
Yeah.
Do we have more discussion on this? That's great. Wheelchair swing?
I can bring you guys up to speed on conversations, things that we've learned, and then by all means, I would hand it over to the Frasers if they've got anything that they'd like to add, because I know that they've had some conversations. I've spoken with their niece, Roberta, I would say pretty at length yesterday about the concepts that she sent us that you have in front of you. And I think what we're looking at here is you guys really, you have options. And the first thing that I would like to make sure you understand in making a decision is, don't do restrictions on the financial of the price of these things. When I spoke with Heather earlier, it's feasible to do both. So I don't want you to sit here and think that you have to stick to one if you guys find yourselves feeling, man, I really would like to do both, okay? There's a way to figure out to do both, and I just want you guys to not feel handcuffed, okay? I had a conversation with Owen Roberts up in Cadillac, where the other swing is, and got some questions answered from him. They've had theirs for about 4 to 5 years. They've had no incidents. They have it fenced in. It's I think he said a 36-inch high fence, so doesn't necessarily for sure deter anybody from just jumping it and doing things they shouldn't, but it's also under camera surveillance. And while there is a locking, I should say it's a latch on the gate, they don't lock it. They don't find that they've needed to, especially with the cameras there, and there are signs there that say it is under surveillance. And that is all there to deter the horseplay, just because of those possible problems that they could have. He had his reservations when it was first going in because it was a unique situation for them. It was at no cost, and we didn't have to do the installation, and it was really wanted by the community. But they didn't find that they had anything that required ASTM compliance, and insurance has seen it and has no issue with it, mostly because of the measures that they've taken to deter the misuse of it, knowing that it is intended for adult use by having that fence there as well as the camera system. With that being the case, they've had no problems, and I do want to, again, go over the fact that in your notes there, when it talks about the memorandum and liability, the city would not be liable for this. The liability would fall onto wheelchair swings. And as I spoke to Ms. Fraser here earlier, when it comes to installation, I think to ensure that liability stays with wheelchair swings, that they do the installation as well, or they contract with someone that they trust to do that installation instead of us finding it, doing it ourselves or anything like that, to ensure that liability would stay with them, if that is the route that you guys would go. I've also spoken with Ms. Fraser as well as Roberta about location. It was brought up at the Park and Rec Commission meeting that North End Park might be an ideal location. And actually, they really like that idea. It also helps with that seclusion and keeping it removed from children. So if you guys were to move in that direction of doing this and possibly putting it there, that would probably be the preferable location. And then that leaves a spot in Hemlock if you guys do still want to do a glider. If you don't, that's fine. There's a glider in the playground. But if you do want to do one, there is that option there. So I think that covers the majority of everything that you guys would find in this. I mean, you get your breakdown of the 4 different options. And you've got the objections and solutions to those objections. Most of that, I do believe, though, was whether it be financial and or legal. And in those cases, everything really is taken care of. But the rest of this is up to you guys and what you guys want to see, what you're comfortable with, what you feel is right, and I want to leave it to you guys unless Frasers have anything they'd like to add.
The only thing I want to add is, thank you, Josh. It was explained very well. And that we really appreciate all your time and effort. And especially I wanted to tell Foster that when you said North End Park last time, it's like, yes. So I really appreciate that. And then when I talked to them, had a conversation with the mayor and Mark Gifford on this week, and they were really would like to get it out of Hemlock Park, only because it's so busy down there. You know, it's just and the other part is, and I know there's more things going on down there than they were, but I really appreciate having the community defined, because I think that was a disconnect last time. We don't really knew who our audience was, you know, who we needed to take care of. And this is all done by my niece, who happens to be, she has one of those engineer brains, and so she expressed a lot of things that for Heather's report and for Josh. And so putting all this together, of course, we still like the pergola, or she calls it the pergola one, because wheelchair swing was redundant. I kept that. And then the Rego, and then the other two, number 3 and 4, we don't get them, but maybe you guys prefer those. But we're still looking at the pergola for our favorite on this case. But thank you very much for your time, because I know it's been a long summer, but now that hopefully we're there, you know, we're just waiting for the touchdown, okay? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any other public comment this time?
They all agree with me.
I made it nice and easy, thank you.
I think, Mary, you're our expert on this board more than anyone else. Do you have thoughts on?
Am I understanding that there's money for both the pergola style at North End Park and one in Hemlock? Okay.
So if you were looking at the $40,000 one for the glider and then the $10,000 for the pergola, something that, again, when you want to consider the $10,000 for the pergola, so they may not happen simultaneously. Line funds can be there to do it. And I only say that because the pergola, while the pergola itself is $10,000, if you want to take any of those measures into consideration, like Cadillac did with whether it's fencing or you're throwing hedging around it so that it at least looks a little more aesthetically nice, but then still having cameras for the deterring and signage, those obviously are going to change that price, but both can still be done.
And can you clarify for me, with the fencing at Cadillac,
Sure.
is that primarily there to keep like hooligans off of it, or is it more?
No,
is it
no,
also a
because-
safety function?
At 36 inches, it's not gonna keep hooligans off.
Yeah.
You're gonna hop right over that. No problems.
Yeah.
It's meant as a safety measure to keep, because it is close to a playground, keep kids from, smaller children from wandering into it unbeknownst and getting smoked by it, so.
Okay, that's what I thought. It
Technical
was,
term,
it
getting
was
smoked by it, so.
that people could be hit and injured.
Yes,
Okay, so that, like, as you clarified, would be an extra cost.
correct.
Not that I'm like, oh no, but.
No, right.
That would be something that I would think our board would require, right? And I think the idea of hedging on top of that might actually.
If the safety is a concern, and those are some measures that you feel comfortable taking to appease those, then yeah, and there would be some added cost to that. And like I said, whether that's fencing or throwing hedging in there that does essentially the same thing.
You still have to add like a pad for it and a walkway to it, correct?
So depending on the exact location, yes, you would add a walkway, but it may not have to be a very large one.
As well, enough for, at least for wheelchair.
Sure. Yep.
Right.
And then obviously, yes, still the pad.
Yeah.
And I believe, don't hold me to this one, but there's the possibility that you can also, instead of just having the cement pad, you could still do a pour-in-place feature with that, just so that you still have a fall zone that kind of helps with that instead of it just being a cement pad.
So I wasn't at the meeting 2 meetings ago when everyone made a recommendation, and that was the Aero Glider, correct?
I believe it was option 4, if I'm not mistaken.
So what do you think about maybe doing the Aero Glider and then having pergola style up to North End Park?
I like the portable style more than I think, it's, plus the fact that what I do like about it, it covers all age ranges,
Yep.
safely. I think of a couple different spots at North End Park where it would be really nice near the water. And wouldn't take too much to get a path to it. That's just me thinking when I walk through there. And I think that'd be a welcome addition there.
And just to confirm, that pergola style now is insurable, or it's
It is
safe,
insurable.
the city's cool with?
It's
okay.
insurable.
That one is.
I'm in agreement with the pergola one at North End. Absolutely.
Can we get some clarification on why the Aero Glider now is an unacceptable option on this?
Because of the age restriction, so that's as Mrs. Frazier was mentioning earlier, where the people that you're looking to serve were made a little bit more clear in that last meeting, where it was the joint session. Looking for it to be adult swing, so that someone in an adult chair can actually utilize it, and you're restricted to 2 to 12 years with that Aero Glider. So that's the reason for wanting the pergola style wheelchair swing, because that does service the adults that you're looking to use, have it.
Right, my body's falling apart. My wife, I said, to put me on one of those. Push me up there, so.
Do we want to have any discussion on the pros and cons of options 2, 3, and 4 as like in conjunction with the pergola? Like we can do the pergola one at North End. Do we think that we want a second swing for Hemlock?
So, absolutely.
Yes, but almost like confirm the pergola, but continue to discuss the Hemlock Park piece that we put there.
Like do 2 separate
Yeah, I mean,
motions?
You're gonna have to do a couple of different motions, because if you change
So-
from the Aero Glider, then you're gonna have to rescind your recommendation to the commission for the Aero Glider, then make a recommendation for whatever you wanna choose to, plus your recommendation for the pergola.
I think that we were initially only kind of offered the Aero Glider as a
Yeah.
this looks like a good option, there weren't any others, we were like, okay, great, let's go forward with it. So that's why I'm kind of like, it seems like maybe we should have some discussion about which of those other three options we might want or think is best. And it sounds like we do want to have a second option on top of the pergola one. So do we want to maybe do the pergola motion now and then continue discussion on the other three?
What I would like to do, get the pergola moving forward at North End, and then continue to give ourselves a month to
Okay, so
figure
you don't
it
even wanna make the decision on that second one just yet?
Correct.
The reason that you want to wait is because you want more time? to
Well, I
review
mean, I could
material, or-
probably give my opinion on what I would like to see at Hemlock, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we could probably cover it, but if people don't want to cover it, I mean, today, then we can wait. Maybe we should just start with the pergola motion. Does somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we, put the pergola style at North End Park with some kind of a boundary, whether it be shrubbery, a fence. I think it does need a camera, and I love the pour-in-place surface, that's awesome.
Yeah, that'd be better.
So we recommend the city commission install the pergola option at North End with a barrier and door in
Surveillance.
place
Yep, and then, cameras.
and cameras. Do we have any?
Signage and,
Yes.
you know,
Do we also have any discussion? I know you said that you can think of a few places that would be ideal, and I'm thinking, I know that there's a number of places where there's already existing sidewalk with ramps off of the parking lot, but I also know that sometimes in the summer, tubers can get pretty aggressive with that kind of initial area closest to the river in that parking lot. And so in my mind, the question is kind of how far from parking does someone wanting to use the swing want to go to get to the swing, right? Because there's certainly a lot more seclusion like down the river walk,
well,
but how far do you want to go?
Well, you can either go back towards Sweet Hill where the kids' playground is, and your access to the river there is pretty clear.
Mhm.
You would just have to put a sidewalk there, so. I at first thought about the sidewalk that's going down to the little, like, I call it a deck, that's down there at the
Mhm.
water's edge, and you veer off to the right off that if you're going down towards the river, and you've got an open area there too.
But I think that area is pretty heavily trafficked by tubers.
And it might be.
That's
so-
that. I'm just kind of like putting that out there as like that
Yeah.
you don't want to share the space with
No.
like high traffic is what I'm thinking.
I would say that if we wanted to, we can have these discussions if you really want to, but my thought would be, I would almost say, let's set a time to go walk it and take a look and get their input, get your guys' input, but actually have eyes on it.
Yeah.
Because then you can actually have a little bit better discussion on what things look like and maybe, oh yeah, this spot looks great, but, and I think everyone will have a better idea too when we're talking about a spot that you may be thinking of, so.
So maybe we want to amend the motion to say a pergola style swing between Sweet Hill and North End.
Or you can put in the North End Park area. You could put that and that would, I think,
That would
encompass what you're looking for.
all the way to Sweet Hill. Because I mean, it could be that Sweet Hill is just as good of a spot. Like I'm just throwing it out there as like, I don't know, there's parking there. I know there's the skate park there, so it's like
So I think you're gonna wanna be a little.
maybe you have
closer
more
to North End,
hooligans,
yeah.
but at the same time, you're also away from the kids' playground and you're away from the tubers, and there's a lot of. So I don't know.
I think if you put the North End Park area,
Okay.
then I think that covers what you need to, and you guys can determine the exact location at a different
Sweet
time.
Hill's a hard spot to try to figure something
You think so?
relatively
Yeah.
close. Yeah, it's,
water.
Yeah,
You gotta be by the water too, like close enough to see it
Oh, of course.
while you're
I
swimming.
mean, that's all Sweet Hill is. It's like waterfront access, right?
Perfect.
We can set something up for the next week or two to Foster, Fraser's, get you guys invited, as well, for a time that works for you, that you guys can come give your input as well as where you'd maybe like to actually see it. Does that work?
Oh, that'd be wonderful. Was it,
Sorry.
Support his motion, was there? Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Are we ready to vote on this motion? All in favor? Aye? Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Do we want to rescind our previous motion about the Aeroglider?
I would say yes. And the only, I'm looking at the things that it says about heavy to push, training required, or turning required, I'm sorry. Just a couple of those options that.
I just feel like with there being a glider at Hemlock, glider-ish,
Yeah.
that's somewhat usable, maybe we can do something, you know, that's easier and more usable for.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you're thinking instead of the Aeroglider, like the Freedom Glider, or?
Yeah, is that or the WeGo swing?
The WeGo is, I think, kind of similar to the Aeroglider in that it has turning and
Turning
it's
bar.
heavier
Yeah, I mean,
push.
Like the structure of the Freedom Glider looks like it would pretty much replace what was there.
Yeah, it's got kind of the
you
same
know?
look, right.
So,
Yeah, I like the fact that it checks off a little bit more. It's not as difficult.
Yeah, I think the only thing we lose with the Freedom one is that it says 5 to 12 instead of 2 to 12. But I'm guessing that the
And
glider.
caregiving, seating.
there's an asterisk though. Although options 2 to 4 are nominally intended for children under 12, manufacturer literature indicates they are usable by adults. So,
Yeah, well, I was thinking that the age range from 2 to 5 that we lose with the Freedom Glider is probably covered with the glider that's already at the new playground.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's not that much of a sacrifice,
yeah, I see. Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
You have thoughts on this, Mary?
I'm good with anything. I'd like to see something go in that spot,
At Hemlock.
right at Hemlock, yes.
But you think any of those three would be equally good? Is that what you just you don't have a formed opinion that you want to share at this time?
I like the 2 to 12 is just a broader age range. I do like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that it seems like options both 2 and 4 seem like more of a group activity,
Yes, yep,
Mhm.
definitely.
which I think, again, like, I had my nephew down at the new place a couple weeks ago, and I saw the existing glider there, and it was like that, where it was like, I don't know, 4 to 6 kids could probably get on that and move it around, which seems like a cool, great little thing. So I don't know, like, how much redundancy we want, or like, option 3 seems like it's more of a variation, more varied and different than options 2 and 4, but I don't think the redundancy is bad either. Does the public have any comment on the Hemlock Park option?
I'm Doug Fraser.
At the podium, sorry. Just because the microphone.
Can you hear me? Or no? Can I hear it? Can you hear me now? All right. My name is Doug Fraser. I'm the son of Patty and Jack Fraser. So with years of experience of dealing with wheelchairs with my younger sister, we looked at these gliders and these swings a lot and spent some time watching the videos of each of these. And at first, didn't really like the WeGo. Personally, I just want to be honest. I was more leaning towards the Willy Goat. But after last meeting, and I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Alexis. Got me thinking about how families are going to be using this, and not just children, but maybe adults that are disabled or have impairments, that they need to be there with their children to, enjoy life. And so, after thinking more about that, I'm leaning towards the WeGo, just on structure-wise, safety, and interaction between the person that's in the wheelchair and the family member or the caregiver, whether that's a young person or an older person. So that's my comments.
Do you have any thoughts on the turning and the heavy to push buttons, I guess I would say?
Yeah, I looked at the videos and watched them. Generally, the caregivers are going to be the ones moving it, unless it's a very heavy wheelchair, like a battery operated chair. And then it's going to be hundreds and hundreds of pounds of just the chair, just because of batteries. I know they're getting better, but they're heavy and they're expensive. And then that push and that force needs to be greater. So any of those, you're going to have more force that's going to be needed. So if the adult that's in the wheelchair is able in upper body movements, that will help with the WeGo, the Freedom Glider. I don't see that being able to enjoy with a family member or a caregiver in any way. And honestly, I just wasn't impressed with the Aero Glider on the construction and the interaction. It just was really busy to me, personally. So,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Thanks.
Any more public comment on that? Okay. Does that change our thinking at all, the board?
I like what he said about the week.
Yeah, I like the inclusiveness for the family. I really like that.
Yeah. I think that it seems like it's hard to tell from the little picture, but I did look at this on my computer before the meeting. That one thing that I also really liked, actually, about both the WeGo and the Aero Glider, is that it seems like the platform is essentially built to be level with the walkway approach to it, and it just seems like a really easy on, easy off.
Very accessible.
Yeah, that like there's no extra tricky ramp or anything. It's but I appreciate the comment on kind of the build quality between the Aero Glider and the WeGo swing, which it's hard for us to tell from like these little pictures, but I don't know. They're about the same price, so if one of them seems more durable, that seems like a boon. Do we want to have a motion officially to rescind the Aero Glider then?
Yes.
Recommendation? So I'll make that motion. Do we have a second on that?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor of rescinding our recommendation of the Aero Glider, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say nay. No one. Okay. Do we want to make a motion on our second recommendation?
For the WeGo.
At Hemlock Park.
At Hemlock, yeah.
I would second that.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed? Awesome. Okay. So, we are on to the North End Park Pavilion.
update from Cody, who has been the lead on this. Fetzer and the Allied Construction Group are running the project moving forward. We as the city have cleared the location, staked it, and had concrete installed. So we've done our part. Ferris will be running the show through Professor Horton from this point until completion. They do not have a given timeline, but it will be dependent on the professor's schedules, weather, et cetera. So it could be days, could be 2 days this week, none next, 5 the following. We don't really know, but they do say that they will be done before the snow flies, or at least that is their goal.
Do we have any guesstimation on how many days it's really gonna take them to complete it? I'm guessing it's gonna be like 4 or 5 days, but.
Could be, yeah.
I guess
We don't really
it's gonna
have
make
one,
ice.
and from what it sounds like, the communication hasn't been outstanding to us as to, how things are going,
Yeah,
but
okay.
we'll know, and we just know what their goal is,
Yeah.
so. Real quick, sorry, before we jump to anything else, I guess this would maybe fall under staff reports unless you guys have any questions.
Do we have any discussion or questions?
Sorry. The monetary goal for the playground naming, that John Coles came and presented to us of $20,000 to name the new playground, Daniel's Family Playground, has been reached. Just this last week, they completed that, and so we will be working with them on a plaque, naming and verbiage for what that is going to look like down at the park.
Super. Thanks for that update. Do we have any more discussion? And we don't have any committee reports or business. Do we have any unscheduled business other than our next meeting? Okay, we can adjourn. Thanks, everybody.